Good day, everyone. My name is Crystal Nadalo, and today, in behalf of our entire team, which also consists of Prasha May Castro, Ramiro Crieta, and Jane Pangatungan, I'm going to present to you our research products. So, for the past few months, we've been working on our research study, which is entitled Expanded Polystyrene Foam Tiles for Indoor Walls. And in this research study, our main goal, our main intention is to help in addressing the ongoing styrofoam pollution, not just nationwide, not just in our locality, but also worldwide. So through this research study, we aim to propose a potential way on how to recycle EPS wastes. Okay, so in order for us to come up with a research product, we needed our ingredients and materials to be used. So for this study, our main ingredient is the EPS waste. So in our case, we had a neighbor who just recently had bought a refrigerator, and styrofoams are actually used as shock absorbent for the shipping of appliances. So we actually needed a lot of it because EPS is 98% air, and so whenever it gets dissolved or melted using any solvent that could melt it, the 98% would be released, and what's left for you is actually just the 2% that's actual polystyrene. So next, for our solvent, it should have been an acetone, pure acetone, but then the process of purchasing pure acetone is quite strict and a long process. We had to get authorization letter, and with the ongoing outbreak that's going on right now, we were unfortunately unable to have it. So what we did instead is look for alternatives that could be used to dissolve our APS. So what we had in hand are gasoline and thinner. And we chose to use thinner because thinner is obviously more volatile than gasoline. And gasoline also has this very unpleasant smell. Thinner also has an unpleasant smell, but it is more tolerable than gasoline. So we also needed some coloring elements to give pigment to our tile. So what we did in our case, we used poster color, and before we melted our, or before we dissolved our EPS to our thinner, we put some coloring poster color to our thinner first, so that whenever our APS gets dissolved into the thinner, it will also have the pigment in it. So the melting of the EPS is actually very easy, especially with thinner. Thinner is actually very good at dissolving it. It would give you that slimy effect, which really entirely melts or dissolves the EPS. So after melting it, we then put it into a mold. In our case, we were able to have this mold, but this is too big. So in our case, we just improvised so that we can come up with a smaller hexagonal tile. So the molding of EPS, it's easy to mold it because it will, if it's that slimy, it would take up the size or the shape of its mold. But then the problem there is the time you need in order for it to dry up. In our case, the desired height or thickness of our tile would be 5 millimeters. But then, with the short amount of time we had last week, because we were asked to present, we only were able to make a very thin tile so that it would dry up. Okay, so our first attempt is this one. Okay, so this is really thin, like really thin. But then it shows the potential of expanded polystyrene foam to actually be turned into indoor wall tiles. The EPS tile also has this really nice color, which would give you that interior design worthy look for your walls. And next up is a research product. So yes, as you can notice, Our research product or tile or EPS tile is hexagonal because we've noticed that nowadays it's already a trend, and having hexagons connected together in your walls would actually give that interior design worthy effect on your walls. So we wanted to have that. And as you can see, again, our tile is not as thick as how we really aspired it to be in our research. But take a look at the potential of EPS to be really turned into tiles, into wall tiles. It actually is smooth, shiny, and it would give you that lustrous effect that would give not dull effect on your wall, but actually lively effect. So in our research product, we intentionally made the surface not plain because in this style, it actually kind of embodies water and the movement of water. And whenever there will be several of these hexagons connected in your wall, it would actually give you a scene of a water. And as you can see, there are actually bubbles stuck inside. So we've noticed that as we let this EPS style dried up, bubbles are appearing inside, and it actually gets stuck in there while this tile hardens, which gives really nice effect to your tile. Look, oh, my camera isn't really capable of showing much details, but yeah, this whole thing shows the great potential of EPS to be turned into tile or anything that you want it to be, because EPS belongs to thermoplastics, and thermoplastics can be melted, can be turned into something else because of its properties, which is really conducive for recycling. Around 2.3 billion kilograms of EPS waste gets dumped in landfills and waterways each year, and that's a lot. So our research products, our research study wants to address that crisis. And in this study, we actually give another purpose, another destination for those EPS waste, rather than just being dumped there forever and wait for it to rot or to decompose, because it's actually a long process according to scientists. So in this study, we prove and propose the potential way on how to recycle APS simply by dissolving it and turning it into something sustainable and something that would last long, not as a waste, but now as something that would make your home even brighter and livelier. So yes, this is Crystal Lepolino Dalo, and we really appreciate your consideration for our study. Thank you so much. And from our entire team, we tell you to take care because life is precious.